Good afternoon, students. In the last two lectures, I discussed with you the features of Java, in which I focused on the platform independence feature. Then we also discussed about the history of Java, the difference between C++ and Java, and I discussed with you a simple program of how to print any particular message in which we declared a class, and I discussed with you the meaning of all the keywords that I use in that particular class. So that class only we will be using in all the programs. Alright, the inside coding will obviously change, but the class will remain the same for all the programs that we will be doing. So today I told you that I will be discussing with you the scope and lifetime of variable first. Then we will be moving further to inheritance and then constructors. So first let me tell you about scope and lifetime of a variable. Now till now you all have studied C, C++, data structures also you have studied in data structures we do programming using C or C++ only. And in that, whenever we declare a variable, how do we declare the variable? We declare it in the beginning only. All the variables we have to declare in the beginning. In computer graphics also, when we used to declare the variables, we used to declare the variables in the beginning only, because computer graphics also we used to do using C compiler. So using Turbo C basically. So, but in Java, Java allows variables to be declared within different blocks. Now, what do we mean by blocks? Like this uh, starting brace and ending brace, it makes one block. Like suppose as let's say the name of this class is, I'll explain this to you with the help of an example, and theoretically we will do it in details in our coming online classes. See, the name of the class that is given over here is scope. Scope is the name of the class that we have kept. Okay, so as I told you in the beginning also, that in Java each and everything is declared within the class. Class name, whatever name you want to write, you can keep the name of the class according to your program. Like over here we are demonstrating the program of scope. So therefore we have kept the name of the class as scope. So in that, the main function will come. Now, how do we declare the main function that we discussed in the last class? We will start with the access specifier public, then static, then void, then main, then string args. Okay, I have explained you the meaning of all these keywords in my previous lecture. So you can refer to my video. In short, I'll tell you public is the access specifier. It means that whatever you are writing in this inside this main, this will be accessible to any class, which any other class also, if suppose you want to refer, you can easily refer, because its access specifier is public. Then static, why have we used the keyword static over here? Because we don't want main to create any object before the program is run. V means that the Java compiler, Java interpreter, sorry. There will be two things. That is, one is the Java compiler. Java compiler will compile your program, and Java interpreter will run your program. So what does Java interpreter wants? Java interpreter does not want main to create any objects before the program is run. So therefore, we use the keyword static over here. Void means that this method main is not returning any value. Okay, main is the name of the function that you have been using in C, C++. So this is the main of the function. Now string args. Args is basically, it's an array, that is, you can say it's a command line argument which will store all the strings that you will pass. Whatever strings you will pass, it will be stored in this array args only. So these are the keywords. Keywords means these are the reserved words. While you will be doing your program, you cannot change any of these keywords, otherwise your program will not run. You can change the name of the class, but you cannot change these keywords. Now I was talking to you about the scope. Okay, we were talking about I told you that in Java we can declare variables within different blocks. like I have started this curly brace, and this, sorry, first curly brace is here, okay? So first curly brace is here, it is ending here. First curly brace, so this is one scope. Now, as soon as you start the second curly brace, this is second curly brace, this curly brace, where is it ending? It is ending over here. All right, so this is your second scope. And is there any other curly brace that we are starting? Let me check. Where is the third one? Yeah, this is, see, this is the third curly brace that you are starting over here. So, and this is ending over here. Obviously, it will end over here. So, this is your third scope. So, जितने भी आप curly braces लगाएंगे उतने आपके scopes बनेंगे. That it means that you're creating a new scope. So in Java we can declare variables within different blocks. ये जो scopes हैं हम क्या कहते हैं? Blocks कहते हैं. So this main function we have declared. In this we have declared a variable x that is of type integer. Alright. So comment that we have written over here is that it is known to all code within main. So this x, whatever code you write within this main, this x variable will be known to all the code. Alright. Now if x is equal to 10, if x is equal to 10, see, we have started a new curly brace, means we are creating a new scope. We are creating a new scope. Now within this new scope, we have declared a variable, int y equal to 20. Alright, this we were not able to do in previous C++ programming. Initially in C++, we used to declare all the variables in the beginning only. But in Java, we can declare the variables within different scopes, within different blocks. So the scope of this variable y is within this block only. Alright, because this y you have declared inside this curly brace. See what we have written, if x is equal to 10, you have started a new scope, int y equal to 20. Over here you declared a new variable y whose value you have assigned as 20. Now in this both x and y are known. X though will be known only because you have declared it inside the main. After declaring a main function you have declared x. So x will be known within this main anywhere. If suppose you use if else also, anywhere you use this x, it will be known, but this y will be known only within this block. So this by this what do we mean? This is the scope of a variable, that is the scope of this variable y is within this block only, and the scope of variable x is within the whole, within this whole main function, within this whole class, you can say basically. Okay, so when you print in this block only, you have printed x and y. All right, you have printed x and y. That is, for printing you will write system.out.println x and y plus x plus inverted commas plus y. Now what do we mean by this plus x? Plus means we are concatenating. All right, this args is string type, so it will ask you the variables to be of string type. X and y you have declared as integer, but you have to print them in the form of strings only because it will be stored in this args array. Alright, so therefore we have used this is the concatenation operator, plus x plus this inverted commas is for space plus y. Okay, and then x is equal to y into 2. Then outside this block, you have written y equal to 100. If suppose you write y equal to 100 over here outside this block, it will give you an error because its scope is limited to this block only. Alright, its scope is limited to this block only, so therefore it will give you an error if you declare, if you initialize y, you don't declare, if you initialize y to some other value. That means if you assign some other value to y over here, it will give you an error. But x is still known here, outside this block also, x is still known because it is declared in main over here, so it will be printed here also. So how many printing are we doing? We are doing 2 times we are doing printing. First we are printing this, x is equal to 10, y equal to 20, if x is equal to 10 is an I, so if x is equal to 10 is true, it will move inside, so it will give you the output x and y is 10 and 20 space के साथ it will give you. Then you have assigned x as y equal into 2. Y is 20 over here, 20 to 2 will give you 40. So when you will print x outside this, it will give you the result as 40. Okay, this y we have not printed over here. I've just told you that if you assign any value of y outside this block and if you try to print it, it will give you an error because its scope is limited to this block only. Alright, we will be doing the theoretical part of it in details once our online classes start. Then next program, see, this was program of which explained you the scope of variable. Now in the next program I will explain you the lifetime of a variable. Lifetime means lifetime word का मतलब क्या होता है? Lifetime मतलब उस variable की life कितनी है? Alright, how much is the life of that particular variable? So we have taken the name of the class as lifetime only. Okay, you can take the name of the class as per your convenience. Public static void means string args will come as it is. Where will you do this whole coding? This whole coding you will do on a notepad. Okay, you will do this coding on the notepad and then you can compile your program using the JAVAC compiler and then you can run your program using the Java interpreter. You can refer to my previous video for getting more details about it. So this is your class lifetime. In this main function will come as it is. Over here we have declared a variable x as integer type. We have taken the loop x goes from 0 to less than 3. So x will run for 0, 1 and 2. So as soon as the value of x comes out to be 3, it will move out of the loop. It will exit from the loop. Now within this, within this for loop, we have initialized another variable y as -1. Alright, so comment I have written over here is that y is initialized each time block is entered. Now see, system.out.println y is, we have printed the value of y and then we have assigned the value of y as 100 and system.out.println again we have printed y. So x, the scope of x is within this class, the scope of y is within this for loop because y has been what have we done? We have initialized y within this. We have declared y also, not only initialized. We have declared y within this for loop. Within this block you can say, block का मतलब I told you, जैसे आपका एक curly bracket start होता है और end होता है, वो एक पूरा आपका block हो जाएगा, ठीक है? So y जो है आपका यहाँ पे आपने -1 initialize किया, print किया y को, then you have assigned y as 100 and then again you have printed y. जब हम इसको run करेंगे, what will be our output? Initially from here x will come out to be 0, so it will move inside the loop as condition is true, 0 is less than 3. Now y is initialized as -1, it will print y is -1. Plus stands for concatenate operator. Again you have assigned y को value 100, so यहाँ पे आप गए y is 100. फिर से आप दोबारा आए, अब x की वैल्यू हो गई 1. It will again come and then it will again initialize the value of y to be -1. अभी हमारा y 100 हो चुका था, but जैसे आप लूप में दोबारा आए, it will again initialize the value of y as -1. ठीक है, because we have declared y within this block and we have initialized it to -1 over here. So again it will repeat it. It will repeat this 3 times. So 3 times your y will be printed as -1 for this and y will be printed as 100 for this. So this is the output that will come. I'll show you the output, just wait. The output generated by this program is here. First y is -1, then y is now 100, y is -1, y is not 100, y is -1, y is not 100. Now as you can see that y is always initialized to -1 each time. The inner for loop is entered even though it is subsequently assigned the value, so this value is lost. So the value